A Scorpio investigation has revealed that former Health Minister Zweli Mkhize and Police Minister Bekicele received a donation of 100,000 masks at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. They were allegedly delivered to Mkhize's home. The report says the same face masks were then handed over by the lottery operator, Ithuba, to the health department. And through these transactions, money was laundered through digital vibes. Now, the investigation further revealing that 5.9 million rand that was paid to Ithuba for the masks was distributed to Mkhize's associates, including his son, Dedani. Ithuba is the latest company to be drawn into the 150 million rand digital vibes saga. While joining us just to unpack some of the issues related to this matter, we're joined by governance analyst Thembisa Fakude. Good evening to you, Mr. Fakude. Always a pleasure being in conversation with you. Yet again, more revelations of just how dodgy some of the exchange of monies that involved that digital vibes contract were. And it's unbelievable that this was taking place at the height of a pandemic and what was a state of lockdown in the country.
Well, fact is often stranger than fiction. I read the story, and of course, kudos to Peter Louis Maybeck for following up with this investigation. It's quite shocking to see how daring those that are accused in this crime went ahead or went by actually perpetrating this crime. I looked at how the money flowed, how the Department of Health gave money to Digital Vibes, who then went to buy the masks, apparently donated the masks to the Department of Health once again. But there is another player here by the name of Spin Wizards who then received the money. And that money was somehow funneled to all the parties that are involved in this scandal at the moment. So, yeah, it's quite daring, and it's very, very interesting to follow, and it will be quite interesting to see what will happen and how the police, including the president, will react in this regard, because it kind of blemishes everyone involved in governance, not only the Department of Health, but the presidency itself and the ANC to a large extent.
Thembisa, when we look at some of the corruption scandals that have been revealed, particularly related with the various spheres of some of our health departments, we're talking now about the former health minister. We've also, of course, recently come to know about some of the allegations of corruption at a hospital like Thembisa Hospital. It seems that despite the tough talk, there really is no way that it meaningfully translates into officials doing the right thing. And this is under a health system that is already crumbling and unable to serve the needs of the entire population.
Yeah, it's very sad that we have this corruption culture so entrenched within our society, and how members of families of leaders will use proximity to these people to exploit opportunities within government, and continue using this proximity to commit acts of crime. And we see here the son of former Minister of Health, Zweli Mkhize, being directly involved in this crime. So it's quite disappointing, and I'm not quite sure what to take for South Africans to kind of cleanse themselves from this culture of impunity when it comes to committing such crimes.
What do you think needs to happen now?
Well, personally, I've got a view, and that view is we have to resuscitate all of these social platforms that are important in terms of, making us good human beings. Churches, mosques, synagogues need to come back. I know that's a tall order, but we're dealing with very bankrupt personalities here, and unfortunately it's very widespread. And over the past couple of years, what we've been doing, we've been actually putting bandage solutions over septic wounds. We try to put these people to jail, but until we change this culture and this societal infrastructure which is very, very flawed, and recycling it, we are likely to have a perpetuation of this by the next generation. So there is a need for us to look at serious interventions. And for me, as a person who sometimes go and pray and seek direction from those kind of platforms, I think they do help to an extent. In South Africa, unfortunately, we have neglected these social platforms, which are very, very important in terms of recycling and ensuring that we behave in a certain way, that we fear the law, that we adhere to certain rules and regulations. Simple violations such as not paying your traffic fine boils down to you not being able to understand your responsibility as a citizen. And those kind of responsibilities will never come from the police or from courts, but they come from other places. And I think the Department of Social Development is key in this regard in terms of ensuring that at least there are platforms where people can go to and recycle their personality so that we can begin to have a population that's fearful of the law and that doesn't steal.
Zweli Mkhize may no longer hold public office. Bekicele still very much does. What do you think should happen?
I think heads must roll. But of course, we don't have, these are still allegations until proven beyond doubt that these people did commit these crimes. But for the sake of our government, I think it would be proper for them to excuse themselves at least. I know Zweli Mkhize is out of play, but Bekicele has been having controversy following him, one after the other. And the best thing to do, we are to restore this respect to our government, will be for these people to recuse themselves at best. If not, the government, the president of this country will have to do something. But it's really disheartening that all the time, whenever we have to speak about the state of affairs in South Africa, it always involves crime, it always involves fraud, maladministration. It's not a nice thing to always talk about. And until, as I said, we find ways of recycling our personality, unfortunately we risk passing this on to the next generation.
All right. Thembisa Fakude, we'll leave it there. He is a governance specialist.